Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Pixelgaard. So we're picking back up not too long after the last recording, and I did some thinking, and I think I figured out kind of how I want to set up well, originally I was planning out to be kind of like a see-through screen, but I actually think I changed my mind. We're going to have kind of like a shoji type like screen. So we actually have the paper there. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to build out the pattern, and then we're going to run the paper through the middle of it. And so that way we kind of have like a 3D type effect. So we have bits of that wood kind of coming through. It'll make sense in just a minute, I think. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to measure this out based on block spaces, I do believe. And so we're going to just bring up right here. We're going to bring that up. And well, actually, I should do it like this, which means it's going to kind of pop into this staircase, but that's kind of how I want it kind of popping, because you're not actually able to step into that block space anyways. It's just visually open right there. And then we're going to come over to this side. We're going to do the same thing on this side. So let's just go ahead there, up to there. And let's see, this is 3 blocks tall. So let's go ahead and just grab this, and this is actually going to come all the way over to, say, right there. And then we're going to do the same thing right there. And yeah, so something like that for right now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to count out, okay, I've got 11 blocks here then. Yeah, this will work out perfectly. And so what we'll do, we'll just bring this over to, say, right there. Bring this over to right there. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Count out 3. Bring that down. There's actually 4 blocks between those. Oh, I know why though. But that's fine. We're going to do that. And then right here we're going to do the same thing. Count out 3. Okay. Oh. Oops. That's what we've got so far. And then over here we're going to do kind of the same thing. We're going to bring this down. I think this was counted out 3 blocks, 4, and then 3. Okay, and then what I have to do is I have to go down through here and count out 3 blocks. Let me actually build this up here. Okay, I'm going to do like that. So this is counted out 3 across, and then in the middle it's got 2. And actually this one here in the middle, I'm going to bring this all the way down. Like that. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Once this is all done. And then what we're going to do, let's pop down here. It'll be a little bit easier to do this. Okay. So there we go. That's kind of the pattern thus far. And then these sections right here. I'm actually going to do it kind of like this. I counted up 3. And then I have nothing there in the middle. So it's just kind of like framed in right there. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Okay, so something like that. Alright, so then what we're going to do before we do the middle part, I just want to see how this looks. If we grab a paper wall, of course there are these, you could do that, but we're doing something a little bit different. Kind of giving this a 3D effect, which I think is going to look a lot better. Sticks and paper. Okay, I've got 16 paper. Let's go ahead and we'll be able to get a feel for this and see what we think. Let me go ahead and just set it to just the plain paper. And let me dump, I'm just going to dump all of this into our bag. And then what we'll do is we'll set it to the paper. And that's what we've got so far. So once we put the little design there in the middle, this will be done. I don't know if I want to loosen up these blocks up here, though. Because I feel like it could do with a little bit less. I feel like there's so much going on. And I also feel like I could just like push it back so we have a bigger white space right through here. You know, maybe do like if I removed all of that and just had like a border there at the top. Yeah, give me a minute. I think I'm going to pull off some of this and make it just a little bit cleaner looking. I think I'm going to change up. Yeah, I think this is just too much. So I'll be back here in just a minute. Okay, I think I figured out what we're going to do. Let me switch this back over to paper. Or there's the white gray wall. I don't know which one would be better. Let's try the white gray wall real quick. That's the white gray wall. Which, I mean, I think it looks nice because it blends in with the wall. But then again, I mean, this isn't really a wall. It's more of like a screen. So I think I am going to stick with the paper. Let's go ahead and just bring that up. But that's what I've got. Yeah, I like that more. That's what I've got so far. We're going to put a little image there in the middle of these. So we're going to do that up like next. But I'm probably going to keep it 3 wide so it shows up on the other side, I do believe. But what I'm doing right now, and I'm actually just going to do this off camera, I'm basically taking this little pattern of basically going out 3 blocks, making these little 3-block squares, and carrying it on through here. Now right up here it's actually just a 1x3, and then I've got a beam that kind of runs up the middle. That's because the leftover blocks doesn't quite make a 3x3 square, so I kind of did my best with what I had. Oh, this is yeah, this is actually missing a little spot, probably from when I was cleaning all that stuff up. But yeah, so over here I'm starting to do that. Now right over here it's actually going to be, some of this isn't going to be visible on the other side. For example, if I do the paper walls, you know, we can see it from this side. Of course, I haven't done the little boxes there just yet. But you can see right here most of this isn't quite visible. I just want it kind of popping through what would be visible. We'll be popping through the stairs right there, so we'll be able to see it on the other side. But to get an idea, it's going to be kind of like that, and then we're going to have this top section. I'm not for sure if this is all going to be paper walls, but I know these bottom parts are going to be paper walls. I thought about actually having this up here just being kind of like some woodwork that you could see through. So we may actually do that. So we'll have maybe paper walls at the bottom, then the top be kind of wood cut. We'll see. We'll see. Or maybe, I don't know, I've got a couple ideas. I thought about maybe doing like, in this block space, bringing it over and having maybe like wood cut and then paper at the top, or paper here with like a little bit of a different design and then a wood cut there at the very, very top. I don't know. I'm going to give it some thought, but right now I'm just kind of bringing over these little 3x3 squares around to the other sides, and then we'll figure something out what we want to do for the upper section. So I'm going to give it a little bit of thought, and we'll decide. And if you hadn't guessed, there's a bit of time between each cut, because I think you guys have the basics of little tiles, so I'm just kind of working through things with you guys, but doing a lot of it off camera. I thought about doing something like that as well, and having that cut out, but I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think it looks as good, because then these little areas right here look kind of barren. Plus especially right over here. It's going to be very noticeable, kind of where the stairs are and stuff. So I think what we've got going on so far is what I'm going to stick with. But actually, you know what? We could go ahead and bring that out. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and bring that out because what I'm going to be doing over here, I'm actually going to be cutting out the paper and then filling it in so it's kind of like ink. So it's actually not going to stick out. Only this wood bits are going to stick out that kind of frame it in. So we can actually go ahead and fill this one with paper because it's ready to go, and then we'll do the image and then we'll replace the image. But we'll get into that in just a minute. So anyways, I'll be back once I get all the wood borders done, and I'll go ahead and put the paper down, and I'm going to figure out kind of what we're going to do on these top sections, get an idea at least, and then we'll start working from there. But anyways, I will be back in just a bit. Okay, it has been a bit since I last cut. It's been a little while. It has. Because basically I started working on some power related stuff on interactions, and then once I started it, I pretty much had to just keep going until I finished, and then I did a couple other things on there, and yeah. Because when I changed over power, it's all got to be done right now, and things got to get sorted and taken care of, and I don't know. And then I kind of got sucked into that a little bit. Of course, where I'm at now, it's nice to be at that point. So I got to thinking. You can see I did get the paper brought around and the little designs brought through, and I was doing some thinking about designs in here, and I don't think we're going to do those today. What I'm probably going to do is, and it's probably going to be the culmination of a bit, so it's probably going to be done in sort of a speed build type fashion as a separate video that probably will take a little while before I get it all done and published, but you might see it in the works, bits of the screen on camera while I'm getting it all done, because I have all these different floors to do. And I got to thinking, and I think something that would be really, really cool. Back on, well, actually, it was the first pack that I ever did any chisels and bits. It was my first experience with chisels and bits, which was back on the first All the Mods. I think it was the first All the Mods series that I did with Seasoned Gamers group. My first time with chisels and bits, I was doing, I was working on some stained glass windows that were, that had like different images, like the Triforce and Majora's Mask and stuff, that were all done with pixels, with chisels and bits. And I think I'm going to do something like that with this, because Little Tiles actually has the ability to set it to 32 pixels instead of 16, so we can get some really, really fine detail. If we do Control C, and this right here, you see there's 16, we can do 32, and we can make these super, super small bits, basically. And we can do images with that. We can do up to, 32 is the max right now. So I think what we're going to do for all of these panels, and it's going to be fun times. Like I said, we're going to do it just bit by bit. It's not going to be something that I rush, and I'm not going to count it as part of the structure being finished, because doing stuff at that scale, it's very, very tedious and very, very tiring, and I'll probably just get 1 or 2 images done at a time, and then I'll change gears, because whenever I'm doing it, I've got to line up colors just right, and I'll probably just dye the paper so that it kind of matches that texture, but just the color is different. And kind of what I'm thinking is going through here and figuring out which ones I want to do, and do pixel art for different Pokemon on these screens. And I'll go ahead and tell you, I'll probably use Google image search, because, I was never big at designing pixel art myself. I just, I'll find the images and use those. But I think it would look really, really cool if we had just kind of different Pokemon, especially ones that relate to our town, and maybe some legendaries and some lore that kind of goes along with this tower. We'll see. By the way, this fence is not going to stay like this. I don't know that I like the oak. It might, but it's probably not going to. I'm probably going to do something with Little Tiles. I just put this up so that I don't fall, because I fell a couple times. And it's not a big deal. I only take 1.5 hearts of damage, or 1 heart or something like that. But I did put that up just to keep myself from falling while I was working on this, because a lot of times I would back up and I would back right off that. But yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do is just put, I'm going to do some just 32 grid chisel or little tile images up here, and I think it's going to look nice. And you can see I also went ahead and did this. This is very, very simple, so I just did it off camera. These are just bars that run up, you know, within the border section of this, kind of run up and just create this, I don't know, this little thing. Whatever you want to call it, I don't know. But yeah, so anyways, up here, I think what we're going to do for right now is I'm going to set this, and we're just going to go ahead and fill this with paper for right now. So I'm just going to do that, and then we will make a pattern for it for the wood part. But I think I just want to start with the paper just because it'll make it easier as a reference point when laying all of this out. And I know by the time this comes out, it's going to be a little while since the last episode for this episode coming out. But that's kind of because this is, at the end of the day, this is a very build-heavy series, and a lot of my work is actually done off camera. And little tiles is something I don't burn myself out on. Like, if I'm doing little tiles as an episode and I feel like I need to take a break, I just take a break. And then, of course, interactions is more like my... Now that whole, like, going to space and starting AEs out of the way, we're on that quite a bit. So, and I had to get that energy, that power system set up. I think that's good. Originally, I was thinking about actually having, like, something else up here, but I think just bringing that paper up is going to be nice. Now, I do want a design up there. I don't just want it just blank paper. And also, I will say that I have been, I wouldn't say working on something, but working, I'm going to be starting something soon. Just a heads up. So actually, I'll probably be starting it after I finish recording this episode. And there'll be more details on that soon. So, I'm not sure if I want to keep... I don't think I want to keep that same design that we've got down there. Like, part of me feels like I should do little tile designs up here too, but the only thing is then I feel like it becomes like wallpaper. And I'm still not 100% sure, because I may actually start doing little images here and then feel like they're just too over the top or too gaudy or too, goofy. And I may not end up doing that. I may do more of a traditional Japanese style wall. But I don't know. I kind of like the idea of it. 1 second. Okay, I tell you what. I've been sitting here thinking for a little bit, and I think what we're going to do, let's count down. Let's try 3 and see where that's going to put us. It's going to be even numbers. Okay, let's try this. We'll try it, and if it doesn't work out, it's like everything else, we'll just rip it up. But if we do that, and then I'm going to count out 3. Okay, I counted out 3, and then I came up with a couple there in the middle. But if I just did these as just panels like this, nothing fancy, nothing over the top, just kind of simple. But of course, that's one really, really nice thing about whenever you're doing any kind of Japanese decor, like traditional Japanese decor. Like, I mean, there was places I went to while I was there, and it was, it's just like modern America even, it's, But I'm talking about like actual traditional style Japanese. You tend to overthink things, I think, when simplicity is actually tends to work out nicely. But if we take a look at that, I don't know if I like it, though, to be perfectly honest. Not for sure. Like that. I honestly kind of feel like I just want to do something totally different. Okay, now I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's pop over here, and I'm going to just full out clear this stuff out. I know you probably think I'm crazy, but I do this a lot. I'll start building something and be like, nope. And just totally destroy everything. And I guess I could do that. But I need to get rid of... Okay. There's all of that. And then over here... Okay. And then what we're going to do is... Which this wall here, where the spruce planks are, this isn't going to stay solid spruce. And I want to try something. Let me grab our spruce. And let's do that. So we'll bring that border that's right there, we'll bring that around, maybe. And I may add a little bit of stuff here between the oak and the spruce, maybe. Yeah, I think that just looks better, though. Because I feel like that third layer of, stuff, if we were to do anything... I play around with a few ideas. I don't know. I might cut a few of them, but there'll still be some on camera. But I actually played around for a little while with different ideas. And just everything felt... it felt over the top. Like, it just didn't need to be there because the thing is, like, when you're doing, like, traditional Japanese style, I think traditional tends to be better. The only thing is there needs to be something up here where that oak wood is. I don't know if I want to bring this out, maybe one more layer, and so it overhangs off of the, off of that, and I actually think I might like that. The only thing is going to be right here. But it's actually going to look like that this plugs up into the wall a bit better, I think. Trying to actually get a good angle here. Yeah, it actually looks like that plugs up against it. So I think it's going to end up looking better. Maybe. That's the worst thing about little tiles is when... Like, I'm the type of person that will, I'll start building and then I will debate sometimes for hours about things I want to do. And little tiles, it just multiplies that problem because now you don't just have one block in a block space. You have 16 or even 32 blocks in a block space. And so when you're the type of builder that like gets really wrapped up in it and really kind of argues with yourself about things and debates ideas back and forth a lot, yeah, it's bad news. Alright. And I may actually find myself pushing out this section as well. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure on that at the moment. Now, one thing I feel like I need to do is let's grab our dark oak planks and we're going to just build this out like that. And I'm just going to add just a simple little border between between the oak wood and the spruce wood because I feel like it needs it. And when we do the walls, I'll probably follow this pattern out. So this actually kind of pokes out, and then we have the little border there. So there's that. And I do think that looks better. I still feel like the top needs stuff. But that's going to depend a lot on how we do the ceiling. So I don't think I'm going to copy this as a pattern until we finish, until we finish the ceiling probably. The only thing is we're going to have drawers on some floors and different drawer layouts. So I don't know how copyable this whole section as a whole is going to actually be. I may just copy this as is. So let's go ahead and a couple things I know I'm going to want is on these corner bits. Go ahead and bring that up. Honestly, it's like the subtle difference in color between the dark oak and the spruce. I love it. I love it so much. Dark oak and spruce are just, they're great wood types. They really, really are. So, and I do think the wall is going to carry this through, so we'll have another line. Well, this is going to get pushed out, so I should probably bring this out 3 in that case, because this is going to push out, and then we'll have 2 to make like a corner. So, might actually be easier at this point. Well, I mean, we're just about done with this. Just getting the general look of this area done. And actually, one other thing I want to add, I'll do it in just a second though. Since we got that as a ceiling as well, which a lot of this, it's not going to be as noticeable. I mean, the ceiling's not going to be the dark oak, so I think it's going to look better once we get the ceiling on. But I'm going to go ahead and bring this down like 3 blocks so that we kind of have what will be a border between the ceiling and the wall here. We're going to have this little border. But I don't know, I think that doing little images with pixel art down there would kind of just be awesome because of the nature of this building and the purpose of this building. I think it would kind of make sense. I'm just hoping that once I get them on there, I'm just hoping I don't look at it and go, okay, well this is just too gaudy, you know. Because I just don't want it to be too much, you know. But once I get one on, I'll look at it and then decide, like, maybe we just want to go with like a more traditional look, or maybe we want to have a little flair of the Pokemon inside of here. So we are going to have a statue down at the base. So, but yeah, so that's what we've got at the moment. And I don't think I want to add anything else, at least at the moment. It might change, but once we get the ceiling on, I just think that little section of just, you know, not being ornate. Originally, I was actually thinking about putting some kind of white-gray walls up there, because that's actually a very traditional thing in like the modern-ish traditional style, from what I saw from Japanese, you know, architecture and stuff, is to kind of have that. Well, I mean, a lot of it is just the shoji screens, and then the you know, the wood and the white-gray walls. So, I mean, I think that's good. I think I look at it and think, okay, there needs to be something up there, but I don't think it actually needs it. But we'll wait till we do the ceiling and put that on, and then we'll decide for sure, you know, one way or the other. What I'm probably gonna do is focus on this floor first, and then copy what I can to the other floors, build out the rest. I don't think everything's gonna be just able to be just straight up copied, but I'll still be able to copy segments, and actually probably copy quite a bit of it in truth, and then maybe just make adjustments where the drawers are at and stuff like that. We'll see. But okay, so that's on there, and I think, judging by the time on the video, I think we're getting pretty close to like a good wrapping up point, because honestly I think these are done outside of just small changes that I might make. Oh, and I've got to do in here. I almost forgot about in here. My bad. Okay, and I actually missed a little spot right here, which we'll have to make some adjustments up here, but that's fine, because all these floors, they're going to get shaped up as well. The edges and where the little hollowed out section that runs up the center, that stuff's all going to be done with little tiles as well. So we will tackle that soon enough. Alright, I think we're sorted now. Man, all this little tiles work. It's a thing. It really, really is. But I'm not gonna lie, it's just so nice. I mean, episodes, there's just a whole lot of little tiles. It's like the little tile series. I had a lot of requests for like really dedicated little tiles, so. But those of you that requested it, I hope this fills the void in your heart for some little tile stuff. But yeah, it's a start. I think once the room all comes together, I mean, I think it looks pretty good. And I think once we get the, I do think this kind of feels out of place right now, but I think once we get the ceiling on and bring that border around with the walls, I think it'll actually be look pretty good. That's actually something I might do off camera, is maybe just bring this pattern around. But I think I'm going to wait just for right now because I'm not sure how I'm going to shape these drawers into the wall. I've got a couple ideas, but depending, these are going to either have to be pushed out further or, yeah, they will be pushed out further. So I've got to figure out exactly how far out I'm going to push them before I put them up there. So I'm going to wait till I do the walls first. Basically, we have ceiling, walls, floor, and this little section to do at this point to finish out this first area, minus decorating. And then, of course, the doorways are going to get done. So, but I think once it's done, it's going to be kind of nice because you can walk through and it's like a little testament to little tiles. So, one other thing I want to do, though, actually, and this is just something kind of for the fun of it right now, something that's going to go down here. Let me move this I changed my mind chest over out of the way. It's like lots of just some blocks I didn't use. And I know some people are probably ready for us to get past this build because we've been working on this pagoda for a while, but I mean, that's part of it. That's part of this series, and I mean, it's not my, like, X number of episodes a week type series. It's just whenever it gets done, it gets done. And we're kind of just focusing on this till it's done. Even though I have been working a little bit on my my gym team for the last, like, week. I've been working on that off camera a bit. So, I want to get a new tool. And this is the, right here, the Pixelmon chisel. And we actually... this is a Craft Tweaker recipe severed setup. Just an aluminum plate and a stick, which we've got aluminum plates down here. Actually, aluminum plates don't have a ton of uses within the pack. So having this kind of gives it another little use. So there's our chisel. And we're going to take this thing. And this thing's amazing. And it's actually, it doesn't have a recipe by default. That's why we gave it a recipe, because it doesn't have a recipe by default. And I don't really know why it doesn't, but it doesn't. But if we right click right here, like look at that, we can actually spawn a Bulbasaur into the world. And what we're going to do is change this to Marowak. And then we can do different textures, like we can do, there's the shiny Marowak, the stone Marowak, the gold Marowak, the bronze Marowak, silver. You can also do like a boss. There's yellow boss, there's red boss, there's orange boss. I'm actually going to go with just a bronze Marowak. And we're going to change the growth. I think it's kind of small right now. We could do ginormous, which actually would be pretty good size, I think. And we can add a label. We can also do an animation here. We can do idle or walking. I'm going to do the idle animation. And we can change the frame if we want. So that's like idle 1, 10, 99. You know, it's basically the different frames as it's standing there. And we can do forms, a lowland, or oh wow, that would actually be kind of cool having a lowland Marowak right here. And we can add a label. I'm not going to add a label though. And we're going to save that. So that's what it looks like. And I actually don't know for sure. If we were to remove the blocks underneath it, it does not fall. Awesome. Okay, so I can make like a nice stand for this. Just kind of in those blocks. I was placing those blocks just kind of down as a reference, but we can do a nice stand here and have our Alolan Marowak whenever you walk in, which of course is actually kind of a reference to the original games, you know, red, blue, yellow. Of course, it's a Alolan Marowak, but still, I think the Alolan Marowak just kind of looks pretty cool. And I think if we were to, yeah, we can change this. So we could change it to, let's see what the standard Marowak looks like. I mean, that's okay. It's just not as big. And I don't know, I kind of like the Alolan. It's just kind of cool. It's just kind of cool. And if we were to change this, I mean, we could have it be the actual Pokemon texture if we wanted to, like that. But I don't know. I think the silver looks good for this. We are going to do a bunch of these statues as time goes on. We're going to do a bunch of these statues throughout the base and everything. And there's actually probably going to be some up here. I'm also going to do a Hall of Fame. That's actually the Hall of Fame / trophy area. I kind of want to start that. Like, I know I want to do the gym next, but I kind of want to do the Hall of Fame / trophy area next. I don't know for sure. I'm kind of torn. So if you guys have any preference, let me know down in the comments. But the Hall of Fame / trophy area is kind of where I want to do the living dex area. And it's also where I want to set up our trophies that we get from the tournaments. And then I want to do kind of like the Hall of Fame in the actual game. So we could go in there and we're going to have statues of the team that we use to go into each tournament. So I could, for example, I would have like Tallow. And, you know, we might up the size of it, so maybe like a ginormous Tallow, so it's more visible. But we would have the different Pokemon laid out. And if you want to break these, just left click with the chisel. You have to have the chisel. Nothing else will break them. But yeah, I'm thinking something like that, and then have our little trophies and our living dex and just different little things there. And I also thought about even taking the living dex to the next step and having actual Pokemon statues for all the ones that we catch, but I don't know for sure. I think that would be kind of cool. But, and truth be told, I've made a lot of these statues in a test world, and I haven't noticed any kind of FPS drop from it. So I'm not sure. I'm not for sure. We'll see. And I don't know. It's going to be a big build whenever we do it, because there's just so much that needs to go into it. But yeah, so we're going to have that there, and then then we can climb up, and from all the different floors we can look down and see the Marowak. Especially once this is maybe fixed up a bit, so it's not this. I don't think we're going to keep the Chinese fences. I think we're going to do little tiles. Like I said, I think the majority of this building is going to be little tiles. So once we finish it, we'll make a little miniature and set it up somewhere. So we have like a miniature pagoda. But the nice thing is, once we finish this, actually, and this is something I just thought of, and we should actually do this. These pagodas would look pretty cool, like around like different little hilltops. And so what I might do once we get all this done, I mean, I know it's taking a long time to get this done, but what we could do is we could actually copy this entire pagoda as a recipe, and then move it and set it up like on the hill there or something. Like more of them. I know I am planning on doing that, especially for some of the little watchtowers we're going to set up. We're going to have like little watchtowers on some of the hills. And I am planning on copying those entire structures over with the recipes and moving them just as an entire structure, like copying them over. But yeah, so but anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point. And then we'll start on, I don't know if I'm going to do the ceiling, the walls, or this section next. Actually, probably the ceiling maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so I'll probably start on that here shortly. We'll see. Like I said, I got another project that I'm starting. So, okay, a really quick update. I just wanted to kind of throw this in here. And I thought about this whenever I was editing the footage, and I was talking about the part, or I was at the part where I was talking about, doing the little images with the Pokemon. And I don't know, like, I shouldn't make decisions like that when it's early morning for me, but technically night, because I'm like a vampire. I shouldn't make decisions like that because, no, like I was editing the footage and I was like, what am I thinking? And I think my better judgment decided, no, we're not going to do that actually. Because like this building, the goal is for it to look very traditional pagoda look. And I know by the way, I know we spent a long time on the staircase section, but I think it was worth it. I think it's going to look good once everything's put on. All the walls and stuff are done. Because right now it kind of doesn't really match up with that. But I think if we did the little Pokemon images, to some degree I think they'd look cool. Because, it'd just be like little Pokemon. And it's not to say we're not going to do some Pokemon pixel art somewhere. But I don't think here is the right place. because I think if we did it here, it's going to end up looking like a pagoda that doubles as like a 5-year-old's bedroom. And I don't think that that's what we want here. So we're not going to do the images here, but that's not to say that we won't do them somewhere. And one thing I might do in a building that I was thinking that would be kind of a cool use of that is to do some kind of a stained glass. You know, that's where I did the pixel art before, was like stained glass. I think it would work as like a stained glass window, to do it as that and have the pixel art in the stained glass, and probably a bit fancier than what I did back on all the mods forever ago. You know, something that's actually like real pixel art, something that's actually like real stained glass look. Not to mention little tiles just let you do anything you want with like no limitations whatsoever. But yeah, so I don't think we're going to do the pixel art here. I apologize. I thought about actually just editing that out, but it's like, you know, I had some comments about how it's nice to actually walk through the process of building these things instead of just like, okay, well, here's what we did right every time. Because I know a lot of this was actually, and I didn't even put everything in there because I literally spent hours working on this little segment, because trying to get the walls just right, I don't know. It took a while. So I do think I'm going to leave these plain. I have been tossing around the idea about some small details, because sometimes in the Japanese, like the shoji screens, you'll have like small little things, very, very small, very, very, very minute little things. You know, sometimes just like a line here, or, you know, like a shape here in the center or something like that. You know, I've tossed around ideas about that, but I don't know for sure. I think we might just leave it clean as it is. I don't know. I don't know. We'll decide as the wall comes together and everything starts to come together. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So, anyways, I just wanted to pop you guys in and talk about that for a brief second. Anyways, I hope you guys like the staircase so far. I do think the top's going to come together once we get the walls done. If we have to make some little changes or add a little few things or something, we'll do that. But I like it so far. I really like it whenever I'm walking up through here, right? Because, I don't know, it's just kind of, especially that little view right there, it's just kind of atmospheric and I like it. So, but yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.